Howdy mates, how are we doing? It is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021, and it marks a very special day. For me, especially, and all you other nature lovers. It is Earth Day, which has now been in existence for 51 years as a celebration. However though, I want to save the discussion of Earth Day in a separate video. For this video, I actually want to talk a little bit about Clifton Gorge, which is where I am right now. So I may discuss a little bit of the history here, as well as a little bit of the geologic feature. So what we're looking at in particular down here, I'm not sure how well you guys are able to see from here, but down in the bedrock, you can actually find these little pucks, like little pockets, that have the shape of a square. You may be wondering, what exactly are those? Those don't seem to be natural. Well, for one thing, they're not. They were actually, they were built in. They were the foundation for beams. Because at this exact spot where we are, at the gorge, there used to be something called the Patterson Mill, which was actually built by a one Robert Patterson, which is actually, and he's an actual important historical figure in this area. Because for one thing, he was the founder of Lexington, Kentucky, and then he was the co-founder of Cincinnati. So you could say he was a pioneer back in his day, back in the early 1800s. So he came all the way up here, and he actually went to live in the city of Dayton for a while. But the Patterson Mill that used to be here, it was sort of water powered, because, you know, with this turbulent stream, it's an excellent opportunity for it. And the mill was also used for clothing production, especially during the War of 1812. So essentially, the mill provided uniforms for Ohio infantries during that time. It's quite neat to think about it. But yeah, literally the mill stood right above the Little Miami River. And actually here, it gives you a little bit more background on the mill. You see this? Yeah. Hopefully you guys can read that just fine. But yeah, it's crazy to think, like, this mill was 4 stories high. And due to a flood happening in 1870, the mill was practically destroyed. And that's the thing. I think that was another point I wanted to make for this video was, you know, for Earth Day, it's just a time to recognize who is really in charge. We're not. Mother Earth is. She is the boss. And we are her employees or inhabitants. But it just goes to show that she's a force to not reckon with. Yeah. So we're just gonna continue along. Yeah, you can actually see a couple of spots of snow in April. Are you kidding me? But the thing is, it's only really lasted for one day, and it melted very quickly. So it was very short-lived, you could say. Okay. Yeah. In case if you were wondering, this isn't the only part of Clifton Gorge. It actually continues even further down. But this is honestly my favorite section, because it's also called the Narrows. So essentially, now we're going to kind of transition to explain a little bit of the gorge, but I'm not going to go too in depth. But yeah, this is a gorge. So the Little Miami River is, over thousands of years, has cut down into the bedrock, mostly Silurian formation. So Cedarville Dolomite, Springfield Dolomite, Euphemia Dolomite, and even the Osgood Shale. And that's the thing. It's so narrow because a lot of this rock that we see here is very resistant to erosion. So essentially, the river, since it was here, it had only one choice but to go down. And there would have had to be a lot of power and time for this beauty to exist. I mean, even to right now, there's some erosion that's happening at the moment, but it's very slow. It's a very slow process. But this particular part is called the Niagara Escarpment. The reason that they call it that is the bedrock is very comparable to the Niagara Falls. And that being said, you know, the same process of erosion and weathering is happening at Niagara Falls. So yeah, that's why they call this particular portion the Niagara Escarpment. But it's quite amazing just to see what a river or the power of water can do. To be honest, water is my favorite natural resource, as a matter of fact, because, well, it can be one of the deadliest substances in the world, and yet it's also one of our most important essentials that we need. I mean, water is even more important than food, because let's say it this way. The more days we have without water, the sooner we die. Unlike and usually that could be only just a couple of days without having water, we would die. But unlike with food, we could last up to 3 or so weeks. So what does that tell you? No, most of our body is made up of water. And when we don't have that substance coming in, there's no way that our organs or the rest of our body can function properly. In the way, the water acts like a lubricant for our body. Quite amazing. But yeah, that's why, I always love being by water. Chasing waterfalls, right? But yeah, definitely a highly recommended visit. I mean, I've done so much content on this place that I've honestly lost track. And I'm also a current volunteer for the State Nature Preserve as well. So, quite an honor to do my part to help protect this natural park and feature. So, alright. Hope you guys learned something in the video. Like I said, I could have went a little more in-depth about the geology of the gorge, but that was just kind of like the surface information. But you can find some of my later videos that focuses more on how this formed. So, alright. Hope all you guys enjoy your Earth Day and try to do your part, whether it be just doing what I'm doing, going out and enjoying, or, picking up your trash, whatever, anything. But honestly, Earth Day should be every day, but that's just my opinion. So, alright. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks.